All right, friends, let's talk about crepe myrtles. They're basically the divas of the landscape. Big color, big personality, and if you treat them right, they'll put on a show all summer long. Treat them wrong? Well, your neighbors are definitely going to notice. Today, I'm showing you how to prune with purpose. Not random snipping, not what your neighbor swears is correct, but the actual ways to prune depending on what you want as the result. By the end of this, your crepe myrtle will either be blooming again, looking healthier, or finally staying where it belongs in your yard. Let's get started. First things first, why prune at all? With crepe myrtles, it comes down to three main reasons. Number one, you want them to bloom again. Number two, you need to control their size. And number three, you want to keep the tree healthy. Each reason has its own timing and technique. If you mix them up, you'll either waste your time or stress out your tree. So let's tackle these one at a time, starting with chasing down that second round of blooms. When the big first bloom show is over, your tree starts shifting energy into making seed pods. Now those pods, not helpful. They're heavy and they basically stop the blooming party. Here's the trick. Cut them off early. Before they harden, just snip the pods and leave the rest of the branch alone. Sometimes the tree goes, wait a second, no seeds yet, and responds by blooming again. Bonus round. It's not guaranteed, but when it works, you basically doubled your flower show for the season. Definitely worth trying. And remember, this is not a makeover trim. This is just pod patrol. Quick, simple, nothing drastic. All right, let's talk about size control. In my yard, I've actually got two very different crepe stories going on. First are the ones I inherited, the big cultivars somebody planted directly under the power lines. And let me tell you, these guys want to be 15, 20 feet tall with zero restraint. I missed pruning for a couple of years, gave them a little fertilizer boost so they bloom better, and boom! This season, they were easily 15 feet tall and tangling with the wires. So now, keeping them in check is a non-negotiable yearly ritual. During dormancy, I have to bring them down evenly. Otherwise, they get out of control fast. If I skip a year, they take over the yard. But then there are the ones I actually picked out and planted. Dwarf and super dwarf cultivars, bred to stay compact and polite. They don't give me the same size headaches at all. Funny thing though, in their first couple of years, they were downright lazy about blooming. They didn't put out a single flower. The fix? I literally snipped about an inch off of each branch. That tiny haircut was all it took to kickstart them into blooming. And since then, they've been fireworks factories, and I haven't needed to touch them with the pruners at all. So whether you're wrestling giants under utility lines or trying to spark blooms from little garden stars, here are the golden rules for pruning crepes to manage their size. Rule number 1, timing. Always prune for size when the tree is completely dormant. No leaves, late fall or winter. If you cut while it's still growing, you just drain its energy and invite stress. Rule number 2, don't whack every branch at the exact same height each year. That makes those ugly knobby lumps, we call them knuckles, and they force weak, messy sprouts. Stagger your cut points along the branches so the canopy keeps a natural flow. Rule number 3, commit to trimming the whole canopy. Don't just clip the tallest ones and walk away. If you prune unevenly, those snipped branches may actually die all the way back to the trunk. But when every branch gets its fair share, the tree rebounds strong and balanced. Bottom line, think of size control like giving your crepe myrtle a proper haircut. Neat, varied, and consistent. Not a punishment with a chainsaw. Done right, you steer the shape, protect from wire trouble, and still set yourself up for a massive bloom show. Next reason to prune, good old plant health. Crepe myrtles are famous for crowding themselves. Branches tangle, they rub against each other, and when they rub, they make wounds. Add in poor airflow, and those wounds can turn into disease invitations. So the fix is simple. Open it up, find the rubbing or crossing branches, and take one of them back to the trunk. Suddenly, better airflow, more light, fewer wounded spots, and honestly, the tree looks more graceful too. This type of health pruning, do it in winter while the tree is taking its rest. The result? A crepe myrtle that lives longer, looks cleaner, and is way less prone to problems. Okay, now for my favorite part, what if your crepe myrtle looks terrible? Like it hasn't bloomed in years, it's thin, it's lagging, basically yard zombie. You don't have to remove it, you can reboot it. Here's how. Cut it down. Yep, all the way down to a low stump, just 2 to 3 inches above soil level. Next spring, it'll go wild, sending up a ton of new shoots. Let them all grow for 1 year. No pruning that first year. Year 2, pick the 3 or 4 strongest branches, keep those, and remove the extras. Year 3, thin out the skinny overlap. By then, you've trained a whole new healthy crepe myrtle. And here's the kicker. Toss down a light sprinkle of fertilizer, something like 10-10-10, under the old canopy line. Once a year is plenty. Too much is worse than none. 2 to 3 years later, that sad stump is back as a full-on blooming machine. It's one of the most satisfying glow-ups in gardening. So here's the takeaway. Don't just prune because you feel like playing with sharp tools. Do it with intention. Want more blooms? Snip the pods. Need it shorter? Dormant season. Staggered cuts. Prune all the branches. Health issues? Open it up. Fix the airflow. And if your tree looks tragic, reset it and watch it come back stronger than ever. Follow those steps, and crepe myrtles will reward you with color explosions every summer. If this video helped you out, tap that like button, subscribe for more garden hacks, hit the bell icon, and drop a comment below. Which method are you trying first? Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.